Hey fellow Outriders, it's Angry Turtle and I have for you some awesome build on a budget, which means no legendary required, no tier 3 mods required, and you can do CT15 gold solo with this Pyromancer build. It's a DoT build, which means damage over time focus, and it works really well. And let's jump directly into what I'm using and what's in this build. Before we go over the gear, let's start with the skills, and basically volcanic rounds here are not to do damage by themselves. We are using those to apply burn. It's our status applicator, you could say, and then we have Ash Blast because it's good here that will increase our AP, I will show you in a moment, and Ash is useful. And Feed the Flames in this case are very important because it will replenish our ammo. Now, under the class tree, it's a very specific tree as you can notice, because we want to be super tanky and as well have all the boosts that possible to increase our dot damage. Then here we're going for anomaly power, some more damage versus marked enemies. That's very important as all enemies will be marked thanks to those volcanic rounds. Then more AP, more damage versus marked enemies, more AP again. And this is important. Burn will do more damage, then more AP, then extra resistance. That's really important if you want to just stand in the middle of the fight. And then more AP. Phoenix, that's our backup. Really good. You will not lose expedition because you accidentally die, because you will not die. It will put you back up. And then resistance piercing. And here I choose to go directly up, mainly because on the top you have extra 45% anomaly power whenever you use immobilize skills, and we're using both immobilize skills. But on the way, increased damage by 20% against enemies below 30% health. What's quite good, we have some extra health in here. I decided to add extra armor and extra resistance. Plus, this one is very important, extra burn damage again. Here, at the moment burn ends, the Ash will be applied, and because it's a DoT build, a lot of status effect in here, then this Ash lasts for quite a while. Then we have this only because it was required to get in here, but this one is good as well. We have another resistance piercing for a total of 30%. It's the best tree that I could figure out for DoT build with quite a lot of tankiness and a lot of damage. Now, about the inventory. As it's a budget build, then you can see only tier 2 mods, and the weapon, it's a little bit tricky to get a correct one, because what you want on your weapon is status power, and find one that either have toxic bullets or death chains on it already installed, because you will need to swap other mod, because we want both of those. We want toxic bullets and we want death chains. Of course, you can do it way better if you have rank 3 mods, but it's built on the budget, then only rank 2 mods, as I promised. Now, under the armor, what is the most important? Before you will get perfect stats like I have here, anomaly power, skill life leech, and status power, this is a perfect. But what is the most important is anomaly power plus status power. That's what you will be aiming for early on, regardless of anything else. Those two you really want when you will be building your gear setup, and then you'll be upgrading that. Then what mods we have in here? Radical Therapy is nice, but that's not the most important. I will state the most important ones. Twice as Hot, that's one of our great damage dealers, and I will show you how when we jump into Expedition. Then, second very important, Feed the Flames. This will replenish our ammo in our LMG applicator. And Untamed Power, it's not the most important because it's only close range one, but Bullet Absorption, that's the important one. Then we have Lava Shots, that's important one. And Emergency Stance, the Golem, is very important because if you watch my previous video, it's currently bugged. And what I'm actually doing, I usually have it equipped for my first expedition run, and after that, when it bug out and get permanently applied to my character for the session, I swap it for something else. But both of those are important. Next piece of armor and bullet kindling, that's the important one in here. Ashen Boost is really nice, but I want to give you the important ones first, what you need to aim for. The bullet kindling is very important. And another piece, and here, none of those are truly super important, but damage absorber is great. It's extra armor and resistance all the time, no requirements. Then I really like this one for defense. But to summarize, only 5 mods are really important, therefore you can easily start your set, because it's not so hard to swap a single mod on every armor piece. Then again, bullet kindling, lava shots, emergency stance, bullet absorption, and twice as hot. This is your core. Everything else is addition to improve your power even more, and later on you'll be able to add tier 3 mods, and that will make this build insane. But now let's see how well it's doing on the budget. Oh, and I probably should mention that I didn't finish upgrading this gear yet. As you can see, if I go under my pants and I raise attributes, it's not done. And anomaly power plus status power, it directly boosts your damage. Then even budget version of this build will get stronger. Like, it's the same with the weapon. I didn't finish upgrading status power, then my damage will be still going up even without applying tier 3 mods. Now, about expeditions, if you are choosing what you want to do, you focus the one with monsters, the alien monsters, because they do not have range, they need to rush you, and this build excels in fighting versus enemies that need to get close. Then that's the best option. Like Campland or Boomtown will be way harder for this character, not to complete, but to complete in gold. And now let's start this one. And we already switched our bullets. The important thing is, like, remap a reload button somewhere and weapon swap button. You cannot reload, you cannot swap the weapon. It will mess up your run. That's one thing you cannot do. And why I said that those effects that whenever you use ability are so good on armor, that because when I use melee, it counts as ability. You can see how quickly I put him down because my melee attack counts as ability. And I just spray the area to tag them all, and then whenever I use whatever, skill or melee attack, all of tag enemies are getting extra damage from twice as hot mode. Therefore, you can wipe out a horde of enemies literally in no time. Like, it doesn't take too much time. The only weakness of this build is single tough mob. Therefore, for that reason, we have so much stuff to help us deal with single enemy. Like, you have those toxic bullets, you have this extra chains and other stuff, because when there is a single tough enemy like this one, it takes a little bit work to put him down. That's the only downside, and that's why some of the maps are a little bit more difficult. The good thing is, when I'm fighting the big guy, all other small guys are dying just because I'm fighting the big one. Then you focus on your firepower on the big one. As you can see, all the other ones will die by themselves. Then that's not a problem. You just need to focus the big guy. Whatever is the big guy on the map, you focus him. And now I think I cut it short because I don't want this video extremely long, and I will show you the results after this run. Okay, I didn't end up with gold. 20-something seconds too slow, but I will keep it. I will not try to redo it. Sometimes you fail to get the gold with budget build, but quite often you can get the gold. It's a little bit too slow on this one. But as you can see, I successfully completed it, and that's still quite a lot of drop pad resources and chances for legendary and other stuff. Let's see what's inside the pad. Access granted. And you can see that, of course, the golem correctly bugged out, and you can see the shield above my health bar. And will I get any legendary? No. Nope. No legendaries, unfortunately. And here's the damage breakdown, and I did 240 millions in total, and you can see what doing the damage. That's what I said is the most important. Dot for burn, 67 million. Mod death chains from the weapon, I told you, it's surprisingly powerful, 51 million damage. Twice as hot damage, that's the mod to activate and deal damage to all enemies that are on fire whenever you use skill or melee attack, as it counting as a skill. Untamed power, that's my area of effect mod, very similar whenever I do anything. It deals damage around me. Then there is Toxic and Bleed. Then my melee attack, Blazing Push, and Volcanic Rounds and other stuff, barely anything. But this is the most important, top 4 damage dealer, Burn and 3 mods. Then those are the top damage dealer, you can see the breakdown, and yes, it can do gold with this build, although I failed to actually on the showcase and did. Archway of Enoch is probably the easiest one for this build. I have the gold in here. That's most OP build with Pyromancer I was able to do on the budget. Without any legendary and without any tier 2 mods. If you guys enjoy that, please consider pressing some helpful buttons under the video. And now as always, thank you a lot for watching and see you guys in the next one.